Hey, it's Fat Albert here at BadAssBugs. I'm sorry, that's a terrible impression. Here we are, BadAssBugs. Please subscribe. Check me out at BadAssBugs1.com. Now, let me tell you what we got going on here. So, my last video was a mealworm breeding project, and this one is a superworm breeding project. So, again, I got the three sweater box. See if we can get it. Those are the dimensions, blah blah blah. I got it from Walmart. I think it was like 15 bucks. So superworms are just kind of like huge mealworms. Some people call them kingworms. Let's see if we can get some out here. But they're bigger than mealworms and a lot more aggressive. So if you have bigger reptiles, they're probably a better option. And I mean, I know I've someone will probably comment on it, and yeah, I've heard like these kind of folklores that they can eat through a reptile stomach or amphibian, whatever. They'll eat through your animal stomach because they got like some pretty big mouths compared to mealworms. But I could tell you, like, I've been feeding these to a bearded dragon for probably over, I don't know, 9 years. Never had a problem. Long as they're big enough, just like any other food item. Long as it's the appropriate size for the animal. But if you have larger reptiles, these are a good option. And I personally have never had a problem or known anybody who had a problem with them eating through the stomach lining of their animal, ever. But anyways, back to the breeding. So here they are. These are the mealworms, or I'm sorry, superworms. And that's what they look like. That's how you keep them. That's how I keep them, just in some bedding, very similar to mealworms. Bedding, some dried carrots there. And that's just a good way to keep them. Breeding them, on the other hand, is a little bit different than how you do it with mealworms. So these guys will not metamorphose unless they are separated. That's the only way they'll do it. And it's because they're so rowdy that it's hard to metamorphose when you're worried about your neighbor slitting your throat. So when they're together, they don't do that. But if you separate them, they'll start to curl up and then eventually metamorphose. So how to separate them? A lot of people online, you'll see to use pill boxes, which is this, and that's cool. You know, they fit in there pretty good, and you'll see they'll start to curl up. And the pill box thing's cool if you have like just a couple that you need, but if you need it a lot, it seems like it can get kind of pricey buying all these pill boxes. So here's how I do it, because I'm poor. I actually put them in Dixie cups. So here, courtesy of the U.S. Post Office. Thank you. No, thank you, Mr. Post Office. So here's what I do. I put them in Dixie cups, and then there they are metamorphosing. There's one that's in the process, and there's one that's actually metamorphosed. And I put them in Dixie cups, and as you can see, I could fit a lot more Dixie cups than the 7 things. And the Dixie cups, you can get 100 of them from the dollar store. And I'll show you how I do it exactly. The one thing I will say about the Dixie cups is make sure you get the ones with the that are either like plastic or wax lined. They got paper ones. And when you put the worms in them, like him, they will climb right out of the paper lined Dixie cups. You need the plastic or wax lined. Please, guys, I've learned that the hard way. Get the plastic ones, and the plastic will be too slick for them to climb out of. So here's what I basically do. I cut out a cardboard box, once again, courtesy of yours truly, Priority Mail, United States Postal Service. Thank you for your service. So I cut out a cardboard box that fits the size of one of these boxes, one of these tote boxes, one of these sweater boxes. And then from then, I take Dixie cups and I'll put them on top, and I'll glue them onto this. So these are actually glued. This one's not being used right now. These are glued. And you could fit about 24. I've been able to fit about 24 Dixie cups per sheet. So I'll take one of these sheets and then I'll put it in the box like that. And then I'll take another one. I'll make several of those because you can fit 2 per box. So there's actually 2 in here. So you glue Dixie cups, glue the sheet down, add another, and then this last one, they need to be covered because they call them darkling beetles because they like to be dark. And then go ahead and leave it there for about a week or 2, probably 2, closer to 2. And they'll eventually turn into the pupates, which is these right here. Very similar looking to the mealworm pupates, just probably about 5 times the size. And then from there, I'll take these pupates, for example. Por ejemplo. Oh, he's moving. Yeah, they're alive. And then I'll put them into this second box right here. Level 2, moving up in the world. And in here, as you see, there's a couple of them that they haven't hatched yet, but when they do hatch and turn into beetles, you're gonna want to try to get them out there because those beetles will, well, they'll victimize these guys, chop off heads and stuff. And so when they turn into beetles, you're gonna want to try to get them out as soon as possible. And that's when they'll move to here, box number 3. I have nothing there yet, just the superworms because I don't have any beetles yet. But one day, when I do get beetles, this will be filled up with wheat bran, and I'll put the beetles in there. And there should be thousands and thousands of eggs there after about a week or 2 weeks. And then I'll go ahead and sift out the beetles, take the bran that was in there and put them in something like this somewhere and keep them warm, and then start the process all over again. So basically the main difference is you got to separate them, and an easy way to separate them I found is taking Dixie cups. A little bit of Dixie cups and patience, you can do this. You can make one of these for like very cheap, almost nothing. I said $1 for 100. And again, plastic lined Dixie cups. Get the plastic ones, not the paper ones. The paper is no good, I'm telling you. They'll climb out. Please subscribe and stay tuned to my updates. And I will be updating, so hopefully in a couple weeks we'll have thousands and thousands of baby superworms. And then from there, maybe thousands and thousands more. And I'd love to do some giveaways and stuff for the channel. But all right, thank you for checking out the video. Again, this is BadAssBugs.